do you mind just telling us a bit about Eve and the Ruined Man as well? Those also sound really, really cool.
Right. Well, Eve was kind of uh, uh, my attempt at like a cyberpunk novel, but it kind of turned weird as my stuff kind of does. And so, it starts out, I think, pretty cyberpunky, but ends up with uh, some really cool twists. So, Eve is basically this uh, genetically modified, genetically enhanced shell that this woman's consciousness gets dumped into, and in this process, she gets amnesia, and then escapes the lab that she is in, and gets found by this uh, private detective type of guy, and they're going around and trying to figure out, who she is, where she came from, and, what's exactly going on behind this, like, this artificial body, that she is inhabiting. And all of this takes place, in, um, like the Denver of the far future type of thing. And,
That's
and,
awesome.
and so, and
That's
so
cool.
it's pretty much this little, self-contained city state, and outside of it is, nothing but, desolation and despair. And,
Just like
and
Denver.
right. Right. And so, and that's one of the things that I like to do is set my stories kind of like some of this stuff in familiar places. And so the Ruined Man is actually uh, like a horror detective horror novel that is set in Albuquerque, where I
Oh,
where,
that's cool.
yeah,
I liked Albuquerque. Went through there before moving to Arizona.
yeah, and that's where I set it up, and lived and really worked in a bunch of the places that I frequent, and things like that. And so, it was but really, I would guess one of my, those two, the Ruined Man and then the sequel, the Dark Goddess, my only real ventures into the horror world,
Mm,
I guess. A few years ago, I just kind of lost my stomach for all that for some reason, which is weird
I get that.
because I love the horror genre. I lived and breathed it forever. Really, after the Ruined Man, I was like, oof, I can't do that. The mind space and the head space and all that I had to be in to write that was not fun. And so I really wanted to, be able to have fun and be creative and imaginative, and not writing about horrible, terrible things. And so, I had kind of moved away from that. But I still love the story, and like I said, that one and Eve were finalists in the New Mexico Arizona Book Awards. And yeah, and so that was cool.